Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Apple Box Chronicles. My name is Peyton Buto.
And I'm Adrian Thomas.
And today on the ABCs, we are taking you from A to Z on all things Jurassic. Jurassic World Rebirth just came out, so we're going to talk about that movie, and then we're going to talk about everything else in the Jurassic universe franchise, you could say, because we think that some of these movies are overhated, and perhaps some of them are overrated.
Yeah.
They're not. They're all really good.
Yeah, so I've always loved Jurassic Park franchise. It's always been like up there with like Star Wars with me and like Alien, all those. It's basically one of those franchises that I really grew up with. Before I talk about my experiences with Jurassic Park, you have more of a limited experience with the Jurassic Park franchise. How did you get started with that?
Well, as with most things, I was too late. Basically, my first time seeing Jurassic Park was in the theater, actually, not in 1993 or whatever, whenever it came out. But it was in the theater in 2013 when they did the 3D re-release of the movie. So that was my first time seeing it. Of course, I really liked it, and I thought it was incredible, but I didn't maintain, I was 11, so I didn't, retain that memory kind of into adulthood too strongly of every little thing that happened in the movie. And then the next time I saw a Jurassic thing was when Jurassic World came out in 2015. I remember seeing that in theaters. I enjoyed that. And then, I saw the other Jurassic World movies as they came out. And then I think during the pandemic, I went back and I watched Jurassic Park, the original. But I never saw Jurassic Park 2. I never saw Jurassic Park 3 until just this month, just this past month, to prepare for this very episode that you're listening to right now. So I'm kind of fresh.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy that it took you so long to see even the other movies. You just watched the Jurassic World movies and are like, okay. I don't know, but I've always as long as I could remember, I've always seen Jurassic Park. I remember having the VHS as a little kid. And I don't know, I've just always been a fan of it. I don't it was always there. So I just remember rewatching the first one and the second one and the third one a lot as a kid. And I remember, I think when I saw the first one for one of the first times, I couldn't understand. I didn't really know how movies were created and what made a movie and all that stuff. And I think I asked my dad, I was like, how are there dinosaurs on screen? How is that possible? And I think he was messing with me when he was like, yeah, the guy who created the movie, he created real dinosaurs for it. And for a while as a little kid, I was just like, wow, there are real dinosaurs out there, and they created dinosaurs for this movie. That's kind of scary. Oh my gosh, it could be dinosaurs.
That's ridiculous. That's so fun though. That's magical almost.
Yeah, and then obviously as I grew up a little bit more, I actually watched the making of for at least the first one and the third one, and I saw what they did, and I thought that was really cool. And that was in addition to when I was really young and I saw Jaws and saw the making of Jaws. That's really what pushed me into wanting to learn more about film and film history and how movies are made. And it got me really into movies, and Steven Spielberg is my favorite filmmaker of all time. And that kind of imbued my love for film ever since. So it was a really big part of me is just loving the Jurassic Park franchise, with all of its nicks and knacks and problems and all that. I've always enjoyed those movies, and I still love them today.
Yeah, I mean they're really cool. They're really fun. I haven't mentioned this to you as we were kind of writing this episode. They're kind of the only place to get dino entertainment these days. Yeah. The main place at least, and dinosaurs are really cool, but there's not a whole lot of movies coming out besides these that really feature dinosaurs as a large component.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because these are super successful, and I guess you just need a lot of money to create dinosaurs in film.
It's hard to make a low-budget dinosaur movie.
Right, that would be cool, but yeah. I think that this is something that we like to do on this show specifically, which is we're going through something that like everybody knows what this is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what Jurassic Park is. But I think in rewatching these movies especially, we've kind of come to understand what the intentions were with each of, especially the newer films.
Yeah.
And we want to just kind of go through and, I guess, give these all a fair shake in terms of what they were trying to go for and how they try to be different, how they try to replicate the success of an earlier Jurassic movie.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of our thing. We like to look at things from the filmmakers' perspectives, even on a large scale like this.
Yeah.
And be like, well, you know, why were they being lazy, or were they actually just trying to go for something and maybe it just didn't work for everybody? You know what I mean?
And for this episode, we kind of came up with a few criterias in which we're going to talk about. Mostly talking about like who the ensemble is for the movies, what the story or the mission is for the movies, as well as like the dinosaurs and the dinosaur set pieces.
Those are kind of the main things you need for a successful Jurassic movie. You need an ensemble of characters. You especially need kids.
Yeah.
There has to be like some child characters in peril or something that they can use to like kind of teach.
Well, I think
the adult characters. It's also thematic, right?
Yeah, I think it's more from just like that child point of view where you get to see like the awe of the dinosaurs and have that childlike nostalgia for like when everybody as a kid, I feel like dinosaurs. Like it's such a cool just idea that these big scary creatures from years and years ago just roamed the earth, and the idea of like seeing them nowadays is still like a cool idea, and that's why I think the movies work, because there's always going to be that awe about seeing a dinosaur.
Yes, but also I think you're right, but I also think that having children in the movie is also supports the whole idea of like all these movies are about corporate greed to an extent. They're all about kind of crossing a moral and ethical boundary for money, or for, I guess, scientific achievement, but you know, something that's very dangerous. And so I think having the children in the movie, it's kind of like it's kind of got this idea of we're creating these dinosaurs, we're kind of like raising these dinosaurs, but like, are we really doing right by the dinosaurs? Are we doing right by the next generation of children that we're raising by bringing dinosaurs into their life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're saying in a little bit. So I want to just establish real quick, what were our expectations going into this newest movie, having seen all the other ones beforehand?
So this movie just, at least to me, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, after Dominion, which was the third Jurassic World movie, I just thought they were going to not make any more Jurassic Park movies for at least a while. But from a bit of the research that I did, like, immediately after Dominion came out, Spielberg called up David Koepp, the writer of Rebirth, and was like, I got an idea, you got to write it. And, of course, with David Koepp writing the first two movies and already being like associated with the franchise, I think I also read that he did like a few revisions of Dominion as well. Like he was like a consultant, I guess, for some of the later movies. But with Spielberg being so like gung-ho about making another movie, David Koepp was like, you know what, if you really want this to happen, we can make it happen. So I think that's super interesting that they just immediately wanted to go into making another one that's kind of more in line with what the first few movies were like. It's just kind of going back to just a group of people stuck on an island trying to face off the dinosaurs. And I don't know, I kind of like that idea where they're just like, let's go back to the roots.
It's called Rebirth. Yeah. And that's what I think is important to note when people are going into this movie. It's called Rebirth. If that doesn't sound enticing to you in any way, going back to kind of the roots of this stuff, then you're not going to like this movie. But it's very much harkening back to kind of the Spielberg era of things. And I think that often has to do with how people responded to Jurassic World, because like those movies or not, and we'll get into it, they do run with their own ideas.
Yeah.
And they kind of go into completely new directions, which I find kind of exciting. But for this movie, there is a beauty to the simplicity of it, to the kind of like, okay, we're back to the basics.
Yeah.
You know?
I also read that David Koepp, he rewatched all the movies before writing this new one. He also reread the Michael Crichton books, which he hadn't done in like 30-something years. And he incorporated quite a few of the stuff from those books into Rebirth. For instance, there's a scene with the life raft boat. That's
great scene.
Yeah, great scene. That's from the book. Like, basically that idea of like a T-Rex chasing them on the water. And it's like, yeah, just go back to the source material and you'll probably find some pretty good gems in there. Yeah, I think he also there's a scene, a great little monologue from the Jonathan Bailey character.
I loved, that was like, I think the point where I was like, I kind of love this movie.
That's also straight from the book as well. Like a chunk of that monologue was from the book, as well as some unused material from the first movie that Ian Malcolm was supposed to say, but they just kind of transferred it over to that character.
Yeah.
But
I also want to establish, since we're talking about characters and since this is the first movie we're getting into, deep dive, we actually have this idea. I think you came up with it initially. Really stupid. Here's what we're going to do. Each movie, we are going to establish like the ensemble of characters. We have this idea called Jurassic Fighters, where it's a fighting game. We're like, what if there was like a Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter style fighting game with Jurassic Park characters, but there's no dinosaurs.
It's just the characters.
It's just the guys. So we're gonna establish movesets.
Yeah. So what made me come up with this was because we were watching Jurassic World, and you kept every time
my
Chris
favorite
Pratt,
thing.
Yeah, every time Chris Pratt would do that, like
the dodge roll.
The dodge roll. It was almost like
it's like his move.
It was like a move, or when he would put his hand up. Like, and I was like, those are like moves that like he could use if he were a fighting character. And then I was just like, what if all these characters had like little like fighting moves? And,
yeah,
like
so for example, in Rebirth, Mahershala Ali has a flare that he lights up at a certain point, and there's like this idea that he just refuses to die. Yeah. So we were like, what if he has this like temporary shield iframes where he can light a flare and he's invulnerable during that. Also, he dodge rolls in the movie. Yeah. That really excited me. Yeah. So he could do that as well. So yeah, Scarlett Johansson has like a gun. Yeah. Like it's
every character would have their own like little unique style of fighting.
It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing ever, but I just love thinking about it. It's so funny to me.
Like Ian Malcolm, there could be like a moment where like he becomes slightly invincible when he takes his like shirt off and he's like really sexy Ian Malcolm. But yeah, we might go through some of those characters as we talk about the movies.
So I'm going to read the synopsis for Rebirth real quick. It says, this is from Letterboxd. It says, 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, covert operations expert Zora Bennett is contracted to lead a skilled team on a top-secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face-to-face with a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades.
Let's just talk about just our initial reaction from Rebirth.
I like it a lot. I think it does kind of, it is tried and true. Like, it is like pretty derivative. It's also very much, like you were saying, a Spielberg homage. Like, there's so many homages to not just Jurassic Park, but like Jaws and other Spielberg films, for example.
Like, there's a little tiny dinosaur in there that becomes kind of like a pet dinosaur with the family. It's a bit of E.T. with like her like giving him like the candy. And then there's the scene where there's like this ancient temple. It almost feels kind of
Indiana
Jones, where they're like sneaking in, they're getting the egg.
A little bit. There actually, I would say there's other movies in the franchise we'll get into that also feel Indiana Jones like as well in a different way. But But yeah, overall, I thought it was a comforting movie. I thought it was pretty good. At first, I really thought it was gonna be like as bad as people were saying, because I really didn't vibe with the initial kind of setup where they were establishing all the characters. There was just a lot of dialogue that I didn't really enjoy, and a lot of like, I don't know. It felt a little random at the beginning, but once they got going to the island, once they were on the boat and they kind of were going there and the action started to kick in, the family of characters were introduced. Then I started to really like it. But yeah, overall, just took some warming up to for me. I do kind of like what they were doing with the continuity of it, where the dinosaurs that are living on the mainland and like living among society are like dying out because they can't survive. They're catching like diseases, and they can only survive in this certain atmosphere or this certain area by the equator.
The equator, because it's hotter there. The air is a bit heavier there, and it's more available for the type of environment that dinosaurs used to live in.
So it's really interesting to kind of see how like life found a way, in a way you could say, to separate the humans and the dinosaurs again, because like they constantly say throughout the films they need our absence to survive. So they need to go to where there's not any people. That's where their environment is. And so I thought that was like a really sensible way to continue the story and get these characters to go on a new adventure to like an exotic place where the dinosaurs still feel like they're kind of ruling that area. You know? But yeah, otherwise, just a little rocky in the first 20 minutes or so, but just super fun throughout the rest of it. And it's like, it's not the most surprising movie in the world. There's every character, I kind of wish the movie took more risks in terms of killing characters off. Because it kind of feels like you immediately know who's safe and who's not after like the first set piece. You're like, oh, are they really going to do that? Oh, they're not going to do that. It's like I lost trust with the movie by the end, that they would really try to do something a little more dangerous with it. So very safe blockbuster movie, but it worked on me. I enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, actually, because even though I'm a big fan of these movies, because this movie just kind of came out like so fast, I had a little less hope than I usually would, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't watch a lot of the trailers. I think I just watched the initial one, and it just didn't show a lot of what I thought I would see in a new Jurassic World movie, but they kind of didn't show that much, at least from the trailer I saw. They didn't show as much as they did in the movie. Like, there was a lot of great scenes, especially the dino. Whenever there's a dinosaur on screen, it's so cool.
Yeah, fantastic set pieces. I loved all the set pieces in this one.
And it was. I do genuinely like it, like, quite a bit. Like, every time. So I work in a movie theater, so I get to see scenes from that movie all the time, and every time I'm just like, yeah, that's so cool. I love seeing that.
I mean, same here. And the thing is, Gareth Edwards directing this movie. He did Rogue One, the creator, Godzilla, probably the one that's most similar to this in terms of like getting him the job. But he's good at kind of there's this giant dinosaur at the end, like this giant kind of mutated like T-Rex.
The D-Rex.
The D-Rex, that thing is huge, and he really plays with that, and he's able to play with like how he obscures the dinos, how the characters don't notice the dinos. There's a lot of kind of clench-worthy moments in the movie where like there's a guy taking a piss and there's like dinosaurs coming up on him, and you're like, oh shit. I remember also there's a part where there's like a giant thing of like life vests that this woman is trying to carry onto the beach, and then you kind of see the dinosaur like disappear behind it, and then you don't know where it is, and it's like, oh, okay, like when's it gonna jump out? There's a lot of tension built through what you can't really see.
I love the T-Rex part when they're trying to get the raft, and like that's a great tension filled
super intense scene.
But the D-Rex, the Distortus Rex, I think it's called. So when they were trying to figure out how they were going to mutate this dinosaur and make it look weird and scary and odd, a lot of what they used for references was like the Xenomorph.
Okay.
They also used the Rancor from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And I think the Elephant Man was one of that too. With
Oh wow, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
can totally see that. Um,
So it was really, really interesting how they were like, well, if we're going to make a mutated dinosaur, it has kind of this sad quality because it's not a natural dinosaur. Because what I was doing with when I was reading some of how they were making the movie, they wanted all the real dinosaurs, not the real dinosaurs, but the more natural, unmutated dinosaurs to feel more like animals, just like going about, eating, sleeping.
mhm.
But the mutated ones are just like evil. Like they're not meant for this world.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why the stakes are so much higher on that island, because like half the dinosaurs there are all mutated and
I also
scarier.
enjoyed those dinosaurs being kind of just existing in that way. You don't really get a lot of jargon about like, oh, this is a cross between this and that. Like you don't really have the characters like explaining a lot about the dinosaurs. They're just like, yeah, these are all genetically modified, and so you just see these crazy looking dinosaurs throughout the whole movie, and it's like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
that's this guy exists.
Yeah, I also felt like there was a bit of like a Skull Island vibe to it.
Oh,
where-
definitely Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, which
very
you
much.
know harkens back to Gareth Edwards working with the Godzilla movies.
Yeah. Also, this movie's about universal healthcare.
Yes,
In a way.
Because a lot of these movies obviously make the kind of these corporations the big bad guys, which they usually are in real life too.
Yeah, and
But-
this is a very natural progression of the themes of
Yeah, and of course, if they get their hands on dino genetics or research that could, they could benefit off of in terms of medical help, they'll do that. But in this movie, it's more like everybody should have this information. Like everybody should be able to get the benefits of these dinosaurs that were unnaturally created. Might as well use the benefits that have been given to us for everybody to have better lives rather than hiking up the prices
and lining the pockets of
Yeah.
people that are already wealthy. If only, certain people would watch this movie and really take that away from
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
But yeah, I really did love this movie a lot more than I thought it would. I think that's a big case for having Gareth Edwards coming on. The movie looks great. It's one of the better Jurassic World looking movies out there. Not James. Is it John Matheson is the DP, I believe. He did like
Sounds right.
Gladiator. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shot great. I love the way the movie looks.
Yeah, I love the lighting, especially the dark, the night scenes. Really
Yeah.
liked it.
And I think the cast is all right.
The cast, the actors are great.
Yeah.
It's just that the characters are hit or miss for me. I love the Jonathan Bailey character. I thought he was so interesting. He was asking, I think, the most interesting questions throughout the whole movie, and he looks so good in those glasses, so I really like that guy. Mahershala Ali, I thought, was really charming as
Yeah.
well, and they kind of try to give his character like sort of, not really an arc, but sort of like just a kind of, they humanize him in a way where it's like he has lost his child,
Yeah.
and therefore he's very protective of the children.
Yeah.
And he's kind of scolding the dad. He's like, "Why are you bringing kids around here, man?" And even Scarlett Johansson, who like is his old friend, has to be like, "Yo, dude, you realize that's just trauma talking, right?" Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
I thought the villain was actually pretty good because he doesn't come off as like such a rough exterior villain, like where it's like, oh, he's so evil. He's more just like a dude just like on a mission. He's just like, I gotta get this stuff done for this corporation, but I also have to hide all the evil secrets of it. And he does have the thing where it's like he does a bad thing in the movie and he's just like kind of wiping it off, being like, nah, that's not what happened. He's kind of hiding the fact that he's a bad person, but I think he does it well enough to where if you didn't see what he did, you could kind of believe that he was just like,
I don't know, man.
tried to
Once he pulled the Glock out, I was like, all right.
well, yeah, obviously, but like from a perspective of not like witnessing,
not
what
knowing,
he's
yeah, I can see what you're saying.
The family was pretty good. I loved and hated the boyfriend character.
Yeah, the lazy boyfriend character.
He was such a dick, but
he knew who he was though.
But yeah, but he did kind of grow after a while. He did have the best like comedic moments in the movie.
Yeah.
Like every time he said something, the audience went laughing.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, Scarlett Johansson is probably the least compelling character in the movie, which is interesting because she had to basically, like pitch herself to the studio to be in the movie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she apparently she's wanted to be a part of the franchise for quite a while, for like over a decade or something, and she was trying to pitch it, and then I think it was Gareth Edwards who heard that she was trying to be in the movie, and he was like, let's have her in the movie. She's Scarlett Johansson.
That's interesting that she had to pitch herself. I feel like she's a big enough name to where they would want her in the movie to sell the movie.
Yeah. But
interesting.
I think there is also that case where sometimes a name is too big even for a franchise, where you could kind of, like, for instance, if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was in this movie, it would be like awful because he's too big of a name and he brings too much to the project that could change it.
Yeah, but Scarlett Johansson, I feel like, is a more like adaptable actor.
Yeah.
Like she's playing to the character. You know, she's not playing herself in everything she's in.
Also, the character itself wasn't written as a woman. There was non-gender. It was.
Oh,
it could have
interesting.
been. So when they were doing the whole casting for it, they were looking at men and women for the part.
Oh,
so,
I see.
Yeah, there could have been a world in which a male was the part for that role.
I think it's cool that it was Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, the character itself could have been a little more fleshed out and more interesting, in my opinion.
I think they give her maybe too much and also too little backstory, because there's this whole thing about her like ex-partner dying on the last thing, and that's kind of it's traumatizing to her, and that's why she needs the money to get out of the mercenary business that she's in. But it's, as much as they try to throw the emotion of her being sad about that, it just, I don't know, there just didn't feel like there was enough weight to her character.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I liked all the other guys too. There was kind of the miscellaneous people that you knew would get killed off. There was like a French character that just spoke French the entire time. It didn't give him a reason to.
That actor Ed Skrein. Skrein. He's in Deadpool as the villain. Yeah.
He was like, immediately when he showed up and I didn't see him in any like promotional stuff, I was like, he's gone.
It's over. That's the thing, you can tell with this one. But yeah, good movie. Nice try, haters. You didn't get us this time.
But
sorry.
No, I just wanted to talk a bit more about how the movie is both an homage to Spielberg as well as an homage to the original Jurassic Park by dividing the ensemble in two, with the family and then the mission aspect. With the guys doing all the trying to collect the blood samples, those are more like the Spielberg aspect, like recreating Jaws, or like having kind of like an Indiana Jones-esque like vibe to it, with the flying dinosaurs in the cave. And with the family, that's more like harking back to the first Jurassic Park movie, with like the T-Rex with the raft is kind of like the T-Rex with the car with the kids,
right? And
I just thought that was kind of cool, where they're just kind of meshing everything together and seeing if it could come out entertaining enough. And I think it does.
It is entertaining.
Yeah.
But you know what's more entertaining?
The first Jurassic
Park. First Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to especially go over this one because this franchise wouldn't exist if that first movie wasn't as amazing as it was. Like, that movie literally like broke ground. Like, it changed the way movies have been made ever since, with its inclusion of CGI. Because it really did make it look like they created dinosaurs in real life, and was like, here it is.
Yeah, you literally bought that, dude.
Yeah, I was like, oh, whoa, there's real dinosaurs out there.
So real quick, let me just read the synopsis. I don't think you guys need to know what Jurassic Park is about, but I'm going to read it anyway for the sake of consistency. A wealthy entrepreneur secretly creates a theme park A wealthy entrepreneur secretly creates a theme park featuring living dinosaurs drawn from prehistoric DNA. Before opening day, he invites a team of experts and his two eager grandchildren to experience the park and help calm anxious investors. However, the park is anything but amusing as the security systems go offline and the dinosaurs escape. Classic.
So good. So it's incredible with this, just the whole creation of this movie, because Michael Crichton, one of my favorite writers, he was in the middle of writing the book when they kind of greenlit the movie being made, because he told Spielberg, I'm writing this book about dinosaurs, and he was like, I'm taking that. I'm going to make a movie with that immediately. And so they kind of collaborated, like, as the book was also being written. And I just thought it was so interesting how they were like, okay, we're going to make a dinosaur movie, we're going to have stop motion, we're going to have all these big practical effects, like the puppeting, like the big mechanical dinosaurs and all that. That's incredible. Like, nobody's done stuff like that before. Even CGI out of the question. The effects in that movie are insane. They're huge.
They hold up.
Extremely realistic and fun to watch. And then obviously with ILM, like, growing and becoming more into the digital world and creating CGI, they were going to go with stop motion with Phil Tippett's like Go Motion with the dinosaurs initially. And the guys at ILM were like, we could do an entire dinosaur on the computer, but nobody, a lot of the big wigs didn't really consider that or believe it. And so I believe two of the animators just created, I think it was a little previs of like a skeletal dinosaur just walking.
Yeah.
And I think it was maybe Dennis Muren or Kathleen Kennedy or one of the producers. They saw that and they're like, "What is that? that looks super real. How did you guys do that?" And they're like, "We could do that. Give us a bit of time and we could recreate a full dinosaur and make it look real." And so they did that, and they kind of snuck it into one of the producers' meetings or screenings. And when they saw it, they were just like, "That's crazy. I can't believe you guys were able to do that." And then after seeing that, they were like, "We need to change this movie completely so that all these CGI parts can be in it." But unfortunately, we have to take out the go motion stuff out of the movie, which meant Steven Spielberg had to tell Phil Tippett, "We're not going to use your stuff."
And then Phil Tippett said,
"Yeah,
he said a line that got into the movie."
Yeah, he was like,
he said we're the ones going extinct or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, he said something, and then I think Spielberg said, "Oh, you mean you're going to get extinct?" I don't remember the direct quote, but they use it in the movie. Ian Malcolm pretty much.
Yeah, it's like they're walking up some stairs, and they literally say it. They're like, something like, "We're the ones going extinct," or, now that this new progression has been made,
paleontology just
we're extinct.
Yes.
Phil Tippett said that because he's a stop motion artist and he's seeing all this, CGI.
And Spielberg is like, "I'm going to use that in the movie." Because I feel like Spielberg's that guy that anything that happens in real life that seems super interesting, he's like, "I'm going to just put that in the movie."
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie's so groundbreaking and so fun and just nonstop tension and action and entertaining things happening on screen. It truly is like one of the greatest movies like ever made. Like even if you don't consider it like your favorite movie ever made or anything like that, you can't argue that it isn't like one of the most influential movies that has ever been created.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's perfect it's perfectly balanced as well, not just in the technical aspects, but the story is great.
Yeah.
You've got perfect ensemble. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum. They bounce off each other so well. They're all really funny.
Yeah.
The Sam Neill character, we see him several times. We see all three of these guys several times throughout the story and like throughout the series, but
Yeah.
like just their dynamic is great. Like,
yeah, no, even with adding Richard Attenborough as John Hammond was like just a stroke of genius, which is also really interesting that he would have Richard Attenborough as John Hammond, because back in, I think it was 1984 when E.T. came out and that was up for, Best Picture, Richard Attenborough won for Gandhi. and the fact that he was just like, let's have him in my movie a decade later is really fun and interesting. But I think that also just showcases how much Spielberg is just a cinephile. Like, he just loves movie. It's not a competition to him.
Not at all.
He's like, Richard Attenborough is such a great guy and actor and performer that he works perfectly as John Hammond in the movie. Because in the book, John Hammond is a piece of crap. Like, that guy is an evil man. But in the movie, he makes it more sympathetic, and he was just an old guy with a lot of money who wanted to make spectacle for children, and it just kind of backfired, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's why you kind of have his grandkids in there as well.
Yeah, and you need the children in these movies, because you just need that point of view of that kind of childlike wonder and awe, as well as like all the horrific, scary stuff happening. It reduces you to a child as well. It's like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah. We also have some cool supporting characters, like Samuel L. Jackson is just in the movie as well.
Yeah. Hold on to your butts.
Yeah. Classic. The mission, I already kind of did the plot synopsis, but it's a perfect little, like, we're doing this routine thing, and then it's like, it's gone completely wrong.
Yeah, and I feel like in any other movie made today, if they were like to try to redo the first movie, I feel like it would have been kind of more like Jurassic World, where the park's already open and then things happen. But no, This movie's more interested in, especially being co-written by and created by Michael Crichton. It's more about the smaller details and the kind of this domino effect of just bad things happening just because of like small incidents.
But you also have fewer characters, which means they're all more fleshed out and it's more intimate.
Yeah.
And you're able to kind of let these characters grow through this traumatic experience that's happening to them. And so, like, if the park was already open, you have all these... Jurassic World feels a lot bigger in that way.
Yeah.
But Jurassic Park is... it's more about just these people.
Yeah.
And I think that's in some ways more interesting.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways more interesting.
And that's why I like Michael Crichton books, because they feel like incidents happening. Like, this is a thing happens and then it causes everything around it to morph and go crazy. Unlike where movies are a bit too broad with what's happening in them. They kind of simplify it down to like, okay, these people are here to say that the park is safe. Everything just goes wrong. The weather's bad. There's like espionage, not espionage, but insider trading with the Wayne Knight character, Nedry.
Yeah.
And he just messes up the whole park for them. It's just all these bad, unfortunate events that turn it into what we have.
And we were talking about this too. This movie is so good that you can't make another, you can't match this movie. If they were to try to make, which they kind of did with Rebirth, I guess, but if they were to try to make another movie that's exactly like this, you just can't make it this good.
Yeah. You can't.
You have to go in a new direction.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with modern day audiences as well, is that they're so comparative to other movies that if one movie's too similar to it, they'll reject it and be like, oh, you guys are just retreading old ground. Or if it's too different from it, then they're like, what are you guys doing? You're changing too much. What happened to the old stuff? And it's like, what do you guys want? What do you like? What that's the whole problem with all these sequels and spin-offs and remakes, is that audiences do not know what they want until they actually get it, and so that's hard to find. And
so it's impossible to make the movie that audiences want by listening to audiences.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I think causes a lot of studios to make movies that people don't like, is when you listen to the audiences, like they don't really know what they want. Like, they don't really vocalize it properly at a large scale.
Yeah.
So when you're listening only to the audiences, then you're going to make either the same thing, or they're like, okay, audiences want something different. And then you go in a new direction. They're like, oh, what is this bullshit? Like, this is so different. So when something is actually able to satisfy the general populace, it's usually because they weren't even expecting the movie.
That's why Jurassic Park is so groundbreaking and influential, because nobody was expecting to see fully fledged dinosaurs walking on the screen the way they were with the CGI. Like, that was such a new experience for everybody that to recreate that is near impossible. You would have to literally show the audience something they have never seen before, which is really hard to do in a movie. And even big blockbuster type movies. I don't think we've seen something like that happen since, like, Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, you really need to, like, break and go through and destroy what has been done before and recreate something completely different for people to be open to something new and fresh and interesting. And then when they see that, they're like, let's have more of that. And then they try to do more of that, and they're like, no, it's not like the original one. And so there's just like this cycle of people not knowing what they want because they see something new that they like.
Absolutely.
But and we were talking, it's such a great movie. Spielberg couldn't even recreate that same type of movie with the sequel Lost World, which is similar to Jurassic Park in a lot of ways, but also not at all in terms of tone and some of the different characters and the different dinosaurs.
Yeah, so this one's not as satisfying in terms of its narrative, but the set pieces in this movie are just nonstop, like, quality thrills. Very adventurous movie.
That's the thing. Spielberg, he's always going to give you a good movie no matter what, and it's directed so well. The actors seem like they're having so much fun. The effects are so great, and it's still a great movie. Like, people crap on this movie so much, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, it's not the first Jurassic Park, but what are you talking about? This movie's still so much fun, and you're acting like because one of the characters is a gymnast and kicks a dinosaur that the movie, like, killed your grandfather. Like, what are you talking about? That's the reason you hate this movie, is because they have some fun character quirks in it.
Yeah.
Like,
so in this movie, you do have another great ensemble. Let me just read the thing, because I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
4 years after Jurassic Park's genetically bred dinosaurs ran amok, multimillionaire John Hammond shocks chaos theorist Ian Malcolm by revealing that he has been breeding more beasties at a secret location. Malcolm, his paleontologist lady love, and a wildlife videographer join the expedition to document the lethal lizard's natural behavior in this action-packed thriller. This is a really good synopsis.
Like, it's a kind of a weird.
I think
lizards.
Yeah, that's exactly what I liked about the lethal lizard. Like, they're trying so hard to put, like, the little
but it's also
quirky
like,
words in there.
It's kind of funny because throughout the entire Jurassic Park franchise, they're like more like birds than anything else.
You know what? Fuck you. That shit was funny. I liked it.
But no, people talk about the not like loving like the plot of Lost World, but I really like how they're able to get back to the park. Well, it's not even the same park; it's a different island.
Yeah, this is Isla
Sorna.
Sorna.
Yeah.
The other one's Isla Nublar.
And I just like the idea that the dinosaurs were able to survive, because they talk about how the dinosaurs have this. They added like a genetic like kill switch in the dinosaurs, where if they don't eat a certain protein or something, they'll just die off after a few days. That the scientists would, like, give the dinosaurs to eat. But they were able to find that source of protein in the environment and continue to live on.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, life finds a way, and that's why Richard Attenborough, John Hammond, wants that, like, a small group of people to kind of explore small parts of the island and kind of document how the dinosaurs are surviving, how the territories work, and all that kind of stuff, which is also interesting. And they even say it in the movie. He went from a capitalist to a naturalist in just a few years, and they repeat that theme with the Bryce Dallas Howard character later on in the series.
She's sort of the John Hammond character in those a little bit.
But I also love that when they bring back Ian Malcolm, obviously he would be like, "Are you crazy? I'm not going back to any dinosaur-filled island." But to kind of get him to be a part of it is by sending his girlfriend, who's I guess an apex predator journalist, or like naturalist. She studies like dinosaurs. And
again, his kid comes along in this one.
Yeah.
So this is kind of another, like, you have the ensemble, you have Goldblum, Julianne Moore, who plays his girlfriend, and then you have Vince Vaughn as well as the videographer.
Yeah.
And then you have Jeff Goldblum's daughter, who's, that's the child's perspective in the movie. You always got to have that.
Yeah, and I kind of like how the movie's structured in the way that there's the initial mission to document the dinosaurs, but the reason why he even goes is more of a search and rescue for his girlfriend, to make sure she's safe and not eaten by any dinosaurs, with the additional antagonistic humans trying to take the dinosaurs off the island, which is a crazy idea.
Terrible idea.
But they constantly say that. They're like, "What are you? That's the dumbest. That's the worst idea anybody's ever had, is to take the dinosaurs off the dinosaur island."
Yeah, and he even says, he's like, "You're gonna realize you made a mistake, and I'm gonna be there when you when you realize it." And that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Kind of becomes a little bit like Godzilla at the end. He's got this T-Rex walking around the city.
I love when it's crazy to me when people are like, "I don't like the scene where the T-Rex is in San Diego just wrecking havoc." I'm like, that's so cool.
He drinks out of a pool.
Yeah, you have a dinosaur in this concrete jungle, like he's out of place. It's like when the humans were on Jurassic Park, they're out of place with all these dinosaurs. Now you have this one dinosaur on this place with all these humans. What's that going to
That's all what these movies are trying to do constantly, is juxtapose environment with the being that's like with the inhabitant, right? Also, because just that goes down to the most basic level of Jurassic Park, where we're bringing dinosaurs into the modern world. It's like, what the fuck? It's like they're out of their element. Like,
I also love how dark this movie is. They definitely turn up the scariness way more, especially that scene with the velociraptors in the high grass. That stuff scared the crap out of me.
Oh yeah, that shit's so scary.
Anytime there's a velociraptor on screen, especially with the first two movies, terrifying.
Amazing, yeah. And the scene where they're in the bus, the trailer that's like overhanging the cliff, amazing.
Scene, so good.
The glass
so
cracking.
Scary.
Yeah.
Tension filled to the brim.
These movies are just clench city, bro. Like, you will just tense up, being like, "Oh God, get out of there."
And I think that is something that David Koepp brings to these movies, the first two and Rebirth, is that sense of tension and just kind of this scary feeling of like having those dinosaurs just there. It's like it's a scary feeling. Like that's what's so great about these movies.
And I think it's established in the first one, like with the whole T-Rex, their vision is based on movement, don't move. Yeah. There's a lot of scenes throughout the whole series where the characters are stuck in situations that are so dangerous, but they can't simply run. Yeah. They have to just stay still and just hope that they're not going to get fucking eaten or fall off a cliff or something crazy.
And that's one thing that I understand when people don't like the Jurassic World movies, because in a way they kind of make some of the dinosaurs a little less scary, and it's more action adventure type and less terrorizing horror suspense. And I understand that sentiment where people are like, "No, I want it back to the more scary horror filled dinosaurs." But the first two movies are just chock full with all those moments, and I love every single scene where there's a dinosaur in it. It's so
Me
good.
too. Honestly, I think this franchise at large, there's very few dino set pieces where I'm like, that one sucked. That was stupid.
Yeah.
Like, there's not really anything where I'm like disappointed with the tension.
Yeah.
I guess there's maybe one movie where they're not as good. We'll get into it, but yeah, that The Lost World, really good.
Really good. Overhated for sure. I think it's... Well, we'll rank the movies, but it's still my second favorite Jurassic Park
While
movie.
we're on the topic of people being wrong about shit, so Jurassic Park 3 is also a movie that came out. And...
So, Joe Johnston directed Jurassic Park 3. It's the first movie not directed by Spielberg. And I think I heard that Joe Johnston wanted to direct Lost World initially. After seeing Jurassic Park, he told Spielberg, he asked Spielberg, he's like, hey, if there's another Jurassic Park movie coming out, I want to be the one to direct it if I can. And Spielberg was like, no, I'm doing the second one. That's all me. But if we do a third one, you'll be the first one I call. And that was the case. And
Nice.
For those who don't know who Joe Johnston is, he's one of the OG ILM artists who kind of was one of the people that initially started with George Lucas and creating all that Star Wars effects and all that. And after being so integral with the visual and special effects world, he eventually went back to film school and then became a film director. And he would do like The Rocketeer, great movie. It's basically Captain America without him being Captain America.
But then he made Captain America.
And then he made Captain America. He also did like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
Another great special effects heavy movie that's really fun for the family. And Jurassic Park 3, which, again, a lot of great dinosaur stuff, a lot of great practical and special effects in it. I think what's missing is not the direction, but the writing. Like, just the plot and the characters themselves are much lesser than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, so this film mostly follows Sam Neill's character, Alan Grant, again.
Yeah.
He's back. He needs to have his time with Isla Sorna now. So he's approached by this couple, played by William H. Macy and Tia Leone.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we're trying to, like, we're rich. We want to check out this island. And we just need an expert to kind of guide us through it. We're not going to land on the island. We're just going to like look over it, in a plane. Yeah. And he's like, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. And then they're like, well, pick a number. And they're like, they'll write him a huge check. So he's like, fuck, okay, we're not even landing on the island. Sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
And then turns out these guys are not rich, and they're actually looking for their son that went missing on the island. And he's just a little kid. He's like a preteen. And so Sam Neill just gets duped into going on this little adventure on Isla Sorna. Yeah. They lose their plane, and they have to find a way to get off the island, but also to just survive and to find the young boy.
Yeah.
I guess I just did the synopsis myself.
Yeah.
Good job, Peyton.
I do like how this movie, similar to Rebirth, is kind of separated from more of the bigger grander scheme things of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. There's no biosyn, there's no like corporate overlords or anything. It's just like a bad situation that they're trying to get through. It's also, I believe, the shortest movie of all.
Hour and a half, yeah, very short.
Insane pacing with this movie. It's just like they just go through it, and I appreciate that on the fact that the movie kind of plays a little bit kind of like a B movie, kind of like an old school like jungle movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind this movie. I never loved this movie as a kid because I remember when I watched it as a kid, I was such a big fan of the first two movies. The T-Rex as a child was like my favorite dinosaur because it was just like so big and menacing and cool. And kind of like, in a way, the hero dinosaur for those movies, even though they do terrorize humans, but in the end they kind of save them as well. And then they introduced the Spinosaur in Jurassic Park 3 and immediately takes out the T-Rex. And as a child, I was like, no. No, you can't do that.
Can't do that.
You can't kill the T-Rex. And that pissed me off a lot. As I had a lot of bad blood for this movie when they did that.
Yeah.
They just did a lot of things that I didn't necessarily love as a kid. Nowadays, I don't care. They killed off a T-Rex. It's not the same T-Rex from the first two movies, so I don't care anymore.
I mean, I agree with you. It's a good movie. I think it just got a different kind of vibe to it.
It's in a way, it's more low stakes. It kind of feels more low stakes because it feels so. Like so internal, like there's such a small group of people.
It's very disconnected from the whole corporate greed aspect of the movie, and so therefore it's not, the thesis of the movie is not as coherent with the rest of the series. But as an individual kind of one-off adventure, it's pretty good. It's fine.
Yeah. I think the coolest part about it is how they're trying to learn to communicate with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, the raptors. He has like this 3D printed raptor like
vocal
box thing, and he's able to breathe through it and make a raptor noise. It's
I actually wish they would have continued with that with the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah, like why didn't Chris Pratt just have one of those? That's what I said when we were watching. I was like, they already established that they could have just given that character an upgraded version of this thing. Yeah. But I guess it makes it more interesting, the fact that he's able to kind of organically communicate with these
it's creatures, more of an emotional connection.
Make an emotional connection, more respect-based connection, rather than tricking them and being like, I am a velociraptor, you know what I mean? Because I think those movies are ultimately, that kind of thesis about coexisting. We'll get into it. But in this movie, there is also a scene, while we're on the topic of communicating with the raptors, there's a scene that everyone complains about him dreaming of the raptor on the plane. He like envisions that his friend is a raptor, and he just says Alan, and then he wakes up. Yeah. And it's like a dream. That shit is awesome, bro. What are you guys talking about?
It's a cool little little metaphor with the whole him talking to velociraptors and communicating, and his just fear of getting into contact with one again. And it's
literally
it's such a small scene, and people made such a big deal out of it.
I'm telling you right now, I wish that scene was longer. I wish a dinosaur was walking around telling him shit. I just wish it was like a dream. We go into Alan Grant's subconscious, and it's like they're in a paleontology dig site, and it's walking around, and the fucking velociraptor is scolding him you just tamper with our bones and our remains? Who are you, Alan Grant? Just terrorizing him, making him feel bad.
Yeah,
that should have been in there.
Yeah, no, I think people's criticism with that small little dream sequence is pretty stupid.
It's such a nitpick. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Okay, while we're on ridiculous things, I do want to real quick, now that we've completed talking about the original 3 and Rebirth, let's go back to Jurassic Fighters real quick. Yeah. Let's establish these characters. So we already talked about Ian Malcolm. We talked about the Rebirth group.
Yeah.
Okay. Laura Dern and Sam Neill. I think Sam Neill's character, like you mentioned, would have the raptor claw that he uses as an example for the kid in the first movie.
And that would be
and then, to me, he's kind of like Raiden. He just throws his hat.
Yeah, he just throws the claw, and then he attacks people. I think for there's Muldoon in the first one, the guy, the raptor guy with the hat and the shotgun. Easy gun person.
I think you could definitely have John Hammond just hitting people with a cane.
I think with Ian Malcolm, he also has the flair to
John Hammond has an investor mechanic where he gets stronger as he gains more investors throughout the fight. As he starts to win, they start buffing him.
Yeah, I could see that.
God, that's so stupid. I can't think of any specific moves for Ellie Sattler, to be honest.
No, well, yeah, I can't think of any specific. Yeah, no, I don't know. She could just be one of those really heavy kickers. She seems like she has a lot of leg in that movie.
Laura Dern's kind of tall.
Yeah. For the third one, I think the little kid, he could like
dude, that little kid throwing smoke bombs and shit. Yeah, that would be dope.
He has like T-Rex P. He could like to scare off.
William H. Macy just bribes the opponent, and then the check like bounces, and then the fight's back on.
Yeah,
it has like a 10% success RNG.
But we didn't talk about Alessandro Nivola's character either.
Oh yeah, he just throws raptor eggs at people.
He could somehow use the parachute. He could like travel across
the map. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's so dumb,
so stupid.
All
but
right.
I think it would be so funny to just have a game where these guys are just fighting each other. It's so ridiculous.
So synopsis for Jurassic World is: 22 years after the events of Jurassic Park, Isla Nublar now features a fully functioning dinosaur-themed park, Jurassic World, as originally envisioned by John Hammond.
Now, after the third movie, there was like such a long period with no Jurassic Park or Jurassic World stuff happening. So when I heard that there was going to be a Jurassic World coming out, I was so ready for it. I was so hyped. I remember every other day I was just looking for updates. I'm like, any new updates? Like, who? I found out that I remember seeing Colin Trevorrow. I was like, who is this person? And then I looked at his movie, a time travel movie. What's
the book of
Safety Not Guaranteed?
Oh, okay. I thought it was the book of something.
No, he did that after the first Jurassic World movie. But no, he did Safety Not Guaranteed. It was like a bit of a time travel-ish movie with who was in it? I can't remember right now. But it was kind of a low-budget indie comedy sci-fi, which was really interesting. I was like, how are they gonna translate that into Jurassic Park? Because I feel like if you're gonna get a director for Jurassic World movie, you would go with a horror movie director, I'd feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But instead they went with like more indie comedy.
Probably just had a really good pitch for it.
Maybe. And I do think that he tries to translate that into the movie in certain ways, like hiring like more comedic actors like Chris Pratt. Which I actually do like in the movies. I don't mind Chris Pratt in these movies.
I actually like him a lot. Owen Grady would be my main in Jurassic Fighters because he has the classic dodge roll. I love that shit. People make fun of him putting up his hands for the raptors. I love that shit. It's so funny to me. Like, he just puts up his hands like, hey, stop that. And then, like, in the third movie, he tries to do it with a T-Rex. He's like, fuck, it doesn't work. It's hilarious. And then, like, other characters will try to do it, too. It just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Fucking Sam Neill learning it. He's like, holy shit, this is all I had to do the whole time? Just put up my hand. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love the scene in this movie when he... like barely rolls under the gate. Like the guy gets like approached by the raptors and he's like, hold on, do not fire. It's amazing.
I like the little clicking too. I
love that character. Raptor trainer rides a motorcycle. Like, people don't like Chris Pratt. They think he's annoying. I don't care. This was peak Pratt.
So
this was like his peak era.
Yeah, so Pratt, obviously he's oversaturated in a lot of these movies, but I never disliked him. He never like offended me in any sort of way. He could be samey in a lot of stuff, but he could also show a range of emotion with like Guardians of the Galaxy and like some of these other movies. And I guess it could be like some of the political leaning, which he's not at all vocal about.
Yeah, I think some of that stuff, at least from what I understand, is not as damning as people say.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like people just started to assume that about him. I'm sure that there's things you could definitely criticize about him personally, but in terms of his acting, like, I never really...
Yeah, I think it's more or less just the fact that he just was kind of oversaturated. He was just, like, him being Mario is like, why did you pick him for Mario? Like,
yeah, that is actually really... Yeah, that was always really strange to me. That one's not...
Wasn't he also Garfield as well?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's weird to me.
He's just in everything.
It felt like there was like some kind of joke that I wasn't in on with that.
But people saying like he's the worst Chris, it's like, no, you got Hemsworth in there. I don't...
Hemsworth?
I'm not
Bro,
a fan
Furiosa.
Furios is good. That's one role though. That's like, but
I like him as Thor a lot too, and
I
also
think
Extraction.
I don't even remember that. Like,
Tyler Rake from Extraction.
don't even like.
All right,
I remember
whatever.
seeing the movie. Don't remember like. But yeah, he's just for me. Chris Hemsworth's way more one note than Chris Pratt. At least I don't know.
I don't know if I'd agree with
that's a
that. We would
personal
have to
take. That's
go into it,
but yeah.
but you also have the beloved Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh my
in
god!
this
Yeah,
movie. I love her.
I love Bryce Dallas Howard.
She's so talented. She's directed like Mandalorian episodes. And They're
Yeah.
so good. She's so good.
She just brings such a nice presence to her movies. Like
Yeah.
it's so. I don't know. There's nothing like even in Argyle. Not a good movie.
I hated that movie.
Not a good movie at all. But even just her presence in there made it like tolerable.
Yeah, that made the movie a lot better. Also, yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard is so good. I love her in these movies. What else was I gonna mention? I don't know. She's great.
Yeah.
And we also have the kids in the. Oh, I was gonna mention her sister is played by Judy Greer in this movie, which is a reunion because they played sisters in M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Banger.
Yeah.
And then they have the kids in this movie played by Ty Simpkins and Nick Robinson. Nick Robinson was in a movie called Love, Simon. He's the lead in that. Ty Simpkins, you know him, Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
Insidious, that guy. He was like the go-to child actor for a while.
Yeah.
And now he's like grown up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's fantastic in this too. He just he
Yeah,
loves
he
dinos.
just loves
You gotta have a
dinos.
kid that
Yeah.
loves dinos
Yeah.
in one of these, bro. Like, come on.
And the other one is just like has a girlfriend, but he's trying to like
He's
trying
just
to
a
like,
ladies man.
riz up some other girls there. But I feel like of all the movies, this one, the kids in this movie, though they do go through some cool like dino scenes, they seem to have less of a reason, I guess, to be in the movie.
So for this one, like you were saying, it's more realistic in this movie to have like the park already open and then
Yeah.
shit goes wrong. You do have like just these kids going to see some dinosaurs and going to enjoy the park and bond with their aunt played by Bryce Dallas Howard, and then yet she's just kind of too up in her business to care.
Yeah.
And then shit goes wrong and then she has to kind of redeem herself by saving them. Which is so funny because they're never like in the rest of the movies. She just kind of goes off and is her own character.
Yeah. They're just here for that one movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like the two kids in the first Jurassic Park
Yeah.
movie. They show up in Lost World for like one scene just to be like we were visiting Grandpa.
Yeah.
But you also don't necessarily want to put the same kid going through all these like traumatic incidences in several movies. It's like,
yeah.
oh man, they just can't. They can't get a break. These kids are going to be traumatized for the rest of their life. They're going to hate dinosaurs by the end of the trilogy. But I don't know. It's fine. Vincent D'Onofrio's in this one as the bad guy, the military guy who's like, we could use raptors to take out people on the field.
Yeah.
It's I know a lot of people are like, this is ridiculous. Nobody would do this. The thing is, no, they would do this. This is actually probably one of the more realistic takes on what people would do if they did recreate dinosaurs, is to like train them, figure out how they could utilize the dinosaur rather than just letting it be. And because that's how humans are, especially in America, in this more capitalistic society where it's like we need to use everything we can to make a profit off of it as much as we can, or else it's just about. And I feel like people just don't want things to just exist. They have to mean something. They have to find a way for it to benefit us or someone else.
So just like life finds a way, people will find a way to
Yeah.
be greedy,
Yeah.
and then life will find a way to fight back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what all these movies are about, is people being extremely stupid, because in reality, people are extremely stupid, aka look at the political spectrum we have right now. And this is like probably what would happen if we had dinosaurs. People would be stupid about the dinosaurs. They would not have as much regulations as you think they should. as most intelligent people would assume.
Yeah.
But no, money talks louder, and that's the problem.
Absolutely.
But they also bring back Dr. Wu in this movie too.
It's true. He's in all three of these as well.
He's in all three of the World movies. He was introduced in Jurassic Park. He was also a fairly big character in the books as well.
Okay.
But yeah, he's kind of the genius behind creating the dinosaurs. So they kind of bring him back as kind of the Jurassic World consultant and the guy, and also the guy who starts mutating the dinosaurs and like splicing them together.
What I find so funny is that by the end they make him so fucking stressed out. He's like, God damn it, what have I done? He's like the Oppenheimer.
Yeah, basically he's the throughout the trilogy he goes through like an entire arc.
Yeah, and also these three movies. So once we're getting into this one's more accepted, but the other two after this are panned. Like people do not like these movies.
Yeah.
I hated the last one when I first saw it, but we'll get into my new, reformed thoughts on it. Anyway, these movies are, in a way, especially this one, kind of doing the meta legacy sequel thing, where they're like, okay, and it's such low-hanging fruit for Jurassic Park to do this, where it's like, why would people do this again? Why would you go and make another Jurassic Park type place for people to go to? Like, are you guys stupid? It's like, well, it didn't work the first time, so of course they're going to try it again. They're going to continue to try it and think that they can have control over it. Whereas, in terms of the legacy sequel, it's like, yeah, of course they're going to make this again. It's super popular. Yeah. They're going to make money.
Yeah.
You know how excited people were about the dinosaurs? We could do that again. Make new dinosaurs. Just, modify them. And so in this one, we have the Indominus Rex that, of course, is the thing that they kind of fly too close to the sun with that, and it gets out.
Yeah.
And that's your movie. It's basically The Force Awakens, like you said.
Yeah. It's, and that's I just hate the way audiences just react to movies in which they ask for, but then they're like, but we didn't ask for it. It's like, no, you did ask for it. You just didn't get what you asked for.
Yeah.
What you were assuming you would get. But yeah, there was a lot of this movie got pretty good reactions when it first came out. It kind of gave the audience what they wanted, at least for me personally. This was the movie I kind of wanted that Jurassic Park 3 didn't have, because it made the T-Rex the hero again, and they also made one of the Velociraptors blue, kind of a main character in these movies.
I love Blue.
Blue's great.
Really cool Velociraptor.
But yeah, they were able to take out the Indominus Rex with the kind of team up with the two dinosaurs, which yeah, it's kind of corny. It's kind of like fan servicey. It's really fan servicey, but that's kind of what I wanted with this movie. Going into this, that was all I wanted from this movie, was to see the T-Rex take out the big baddie, and they gave me that, and I was like, yes, finally, They did it. They did it. I didn't think they would do it, but they did it.
But then everyone else was like, it's fucking fan service.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I mean, yeah, the common strategy in 2015 is, you gotta use that fan service to get people back into the world.
Exactly.
And then you go do your crazy shit, and nobody fucking likes it.
Yeah.
And nobody fucking likes it. Yeah. Oh my God. Everyone, when these two movies, Jurassic World and The Force Awakens, came out, everyone had the same, it's just the same movie. And then next one comes out, man, what is all this new shit you're doing? Go back.
Speaking of which, Fallen Kingdom, it takes such a turn.
Yeah, let me read the synopsis for Fallen Kingdom real quick.
Yeah.
3 years after Jurassic World was destroyed, Isla Nublar now sits abandoned when the island's dormant volcano begins roaring to life. Owen and Claire, Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt's characters, mount a campaign to rescue the remaining dinosaurs from this extinction-level event. So they're basically trying to play God again by stopping the dinosaurs from getting wiped out. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is one of my favorite movies in the franchise.
I do think it is, I guess, a top tier Jurassic Park Jurassic World movie.
So to me, this is the best of the new ones. I even like it more than the Rebirth, I think.
Okay.
Because you're like, okay, yeah, most people would kill me, but you say okay. J.A. Bayona directed this movie. He directed disaster movies like The Impossible, and he also directed, well, this is also kind of a disaster movie, but it's a little more character-driven, emotional. It's Society of the Snow. It's also based on a true story. It's more about, I guess, creating like trying to survive.
Yeah.
And
well, he was also way more known for doing horror type movies,
yeah,
as well.
Those are just the ones I've seen.
Yeah.
I like both of those movies. I think Society of the Snow is his best of those films.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has like that horror edge to him, and he brings that, especially in the last third of this movie, but also just throughout. Like instantaneously, this movie is incredibly entertaining. Like they're going back to Jurassic World, they're trying to collect a sample of, I think, like the bone of the Indominus Rex,
Yeah.
under the water, and then right behind the submarine, just that big ass water dinosaur just chomps him. And then you have this great sequence at the same time where this guy is like trying to fix the power or something, and then the lightning strikes and you see there's a T-Rex behind him, and so he can't hear the other guys that are trying to warn him because it's raining. And then he sees it, he runs away, he catches a ladder attached to a helicopter at the very last minute, and then you think he's safe, and then the water dinosaur jumps up and fucking eats him off the ladder.
Yeah.
That is a perfect way to set the tone for this movie, because the dinosaurs in this movie are fucking trolling. They are so funny. They are messing with people.
Yeah. No, it does have one of the better opening sequences to any of these Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies, because it just gets right into it, and it just showcases the style that they're going for with this one too, and it's one of the better looking ones too. It looks so good, and I think it is pretty similar to Lost World.
I was about to say that.
In terms of trying to get the dinosaurs off the island and onto the main
Yeah,
land.
they also have the whole idea of like Owen, he doesn't want to go back, but because he is in love with fucking Bryce Dallas Howard's character, he's like, I guess, it's that those redheads, they'll do that to you, bro. You'll get they'll put you in they'll put you in dinosaur danger.
Yeah. But they also I thought it was ballsy to just blow up the island with the volcano and everything, and killing off like a lot of the dinosaurs on.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this is that it's kind of juxtaposing the Lost World in the sense that they want to take the dinosaurs off. They want to save them. And this is something that's heavily introduced in these world movies, is the characters really starting to care for the dinosaurs.
Again, from capitalist to naturalist.
Right. Yeah. It starts with Chris Pratt's character and his bond with the raptors, and then that just becomes like a something that spreads throughout the whole like society of these movies. Is like now we're dinosaur activists. Now we really want to preserve these dinosaurs, and like something that we created just through unnatural means, and we're now very, very, naturalistic about it. And they're like, well, they are still living things, right? So they're going to rescue dinosaurs from an exploding island, and this movie's bad, guys. That's what you're telling me. The movie's not good.
I also I just want to say the practical effects in these movies are so overlooked. Like the practical effect, especially in this movie, is so good. It's so like there are scenes in which I could just see people looking at it and being like, no, that's CGI, but it's real dinosaurs, like the Indominus,
the
Indoraptor.
Yeah.
That scene in the cage, a lot of that's real.
And you know what's crazy about it too is that in all of these movies, all 7 of them, there are so few moments, I can't even think of one where I'm like, that dinosaur doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like, I say what you will about any of the movies, the dinosaurs somehow always look good.
Yeah.
In all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
because Spielberg set the precedent at the beginning with, all those artists, they kind of set the precedent for how to do this right, with the combination of CGI and practical effects. And so that the playbook is there. And so now, through all these movies, they're able to make these dinosaurs look great throughout.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's so good. They put so much like care and love into doing these practical dinosaurs, like the T-Rex in the back of the truck or something.
Oh, amazing scene
So
when
good.
dude, best dodge roll of all time, bro. When they're trying to take a blood sample from the T-Rex and it's asleep, and then it wakes up. Y'all can't see this, but he's trying to bite down on Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt's like trapped behind its head, and he dodge rolls through that motherfucker's mouth as it's chomping down, and I just squirm. I squirm in my seat with excitement every time.
Yeah, and he did that in, like, for real. There was no stunt person for that. They wanted there to be a stunt person for him to do that, but he's like, no, I could do it.
And he even says afterwards, did you see that?
Yeah.
And not only because there's no stunt person, he probably was saying that for real.
No, I think he did.
Yeah, but also, I saw that, bro. I was, I'll never not see that.
And, like, the last, like, 30 minutes of the movie is so not even like last 40 minutes, the last act of the movie I think is so cool. Like, they bring the dinosaurs to the mansion.
They're doing like an auction. It's like this black market like auction for dinosaurs. It's really cool.
And it becomes into like this like horror haunted house movie when the
it's kind of gothic.
And I thought that was really cool. And the fact that the mansion is kind of like this mini museum with all the fossils.
Yeah. This movie, I think, also changes a bit of the I guess, structure of a Jurassic Park movie, because we've been establishing throughout all of these that we've been talking about the ensemble. You always have to have the ensemble of characters. You always have to have kids. And you always have to have the mission. There's a very clear mission in this movie, but in terms of the ensemble, at the beginning, obviously they're not going to send kids to this exploding island, so there's not really any kids. There is the Justice Smith character who is kind of a cowardly, kind of scared character, and so he kind of does have that childlike like fear element to him. But there's not actually children. But then at the same time as this story is playing out, you're cutting back to this mysterious girl back at the mansion. Mm-hmm. And so instead of bringing the kids to the dinosaurs, they're bringing the dinosaurs to the kids in this one. And the kid in this movie is, as we come to find out, a clone of another human character that we never met. And so in a way, she is the same as the dinosaurs that these people have been creating. And so I think that kind of further goes to, like, they're trying to kind of amplify that idea of, like, trying to preserve the life that you've created.
But there's also this theme about, like, even if you recreate something like perfectly, like a clone of something, it's not going to react the same way that the original would. It's going to be different. It's going to have its own personality. It's going to be in a different environment than the original subject was. Mm-hmm. So the clone of the girl is different from her original self, or her mom, I guess, because like her mom was like a big scientist and was like really into the Jurassic World stuff and recreating dinosaurs and DNA and all that. But she's also her own person, and she doesn't have to necessarily live up to who her mom was. She could be different,
almost like the Jurassic World movies compared to the Jurassic Park movies.
There's a lot of that kind of theme where it's, you could try to replicate something as best as you can, but it's never going to be what you wanted it
and
to
that's
be.
The thing I think these movies, for better or worse, understand, is they're like, we can't just make Jurassic Park again. We're going to make an inferior Jurassic Park. We have to do something different with it. And so they are maintaining the corporate greed through line, but they are really changing it up. And I think with this one, I thought they succeeded. I have mixed feelings on the next one, but this one I think is kind of special. Like, I don't know what it is, but just all these things are so fun to me. I love the Gothic Mansion thing. I said while we were watching it, and I'll kind of go back to what you were saying earlier about the mansion sequence. There is a scene where our human characters, are hiding in this behind this glass in this like artificial jungle display, while the Indoraptor is hunting them. So it's kind of the inverse of them being hunted by the dinosaurs in the dinosaur's natural habitat. The dinosaur is now out of its element in this kind of like fake, like jungle thing that the humans have created. Yeah,
it's kind of like the inverse of what the first park was, which was really cool. But then we get into Jurassic World Dominion, which
is controversial.
I think this is really interesting if you compare it to the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So you have the first movie, which is kind of a retread of the original, kind of giving you fan servicey stuff, really getting you back into the franchise. Then you have the sequel to that one, which goes into a completely different opposite direction than what people were thinking, and changing it up, doing something different. People not reacting well to it. General audiences not reacting well to it. But the third one's interesting because in Star Wars, they kind of, in a way, retcon a lot of this stuff, or they try to course correct based on the audience reaction, where Dominion, they're just like, no, we're going this way. We've been on this direction. We're going in this direction. You're not going to change what we're going to do.
And that's why Dominion's kind of better than Star Wars 9, in my opinion. I'm going to read the thing real quick. It says, 4 years after Isla Nublar was destroyed, dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. This fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are to remain the apex predators on a planet they now share with history's most fearsome creatures. Here's the thing. I hated this movie when it came out because I was so excited at the end of Fallen Kingdom to see dinosaurs and humans coexisting, and I felt like the time jump kind of avoided all the most interesting aspects of that. I would like to update some of those opinions, but I'll let you say what you were going to say first.
Yeah, I was just going to say that this was like the movie that Colin Trevorrow really wanted to make. Like, he wanted to make a movie in which humans and dinosaurs have to find a way to coexist in the entire world. Like, it's a Jurassic World now. It's not just a park. It's the entire world. Like, they have to find ways to be compatible with each other without, the humans just completely using the dinosaurs for their own benefits and hurting the dinosaurs and killing off the dinosaurs just to benefit them, or vice versa, the dinosaurs just eating everybody and them not being able to coexist. I think the main theme is just being able to coexist with these dinosaurs.
Well, I think it also plays into the themes of greed throughout the franchises, because our whole thing as humans is we want to dominate. And even the Jonathan Bailey character in the new one talks about how we just think we're the dominant species. We're not, or we just think we rule the world. But, our whole thing is like we want to dominate, we want to be more powerful, have the most money, even in terms of things that were created by us, like money or genetically modified dinosaurs. We just want to be on top all the time, and life will always find a way to balance us out. You're gonna get eaten if you try to do that. And so I think this movie kind of ends on the note of like the things that we create, we do have to reckon with that. We do have to deal with the fact that we brought dinosaurs back into the world, but we have to coexist with the dinosaurs. Like you kind of have to, in a way, be just like the Chris Pratt character was in the first one and have that mutual respect between species. Because a lot of the time it's that hubris of like, I'm the better species, I'm the more intelligent species, and that kind of gives you the capacity to destroy yourself. So I like the note that this ends on, in terms of being like, we kind of we fucked up the world in a lot of ways. But until we learn to coexist with these things and truly find common ground and respect between everybody, then terror is just going to keep happening. I didn't explain that perfectly, but I think you understand what I mean.
I think that's what the movie is trying to get at as well. And you know what? I do like this movie way more than I think most, because I genuinely think that they're trying to harken back to something that Michael Crichton would do and create for instance, all the locust stuff. I understand, like, it's a dinosaur movie. Why are we focusing on insects? But I feel like that's an incident that Michael Crichton would write into his book to call into account of what's happening with the dinosaurs and the DNA stuff that they're, putting on these insects to help, these corporations, grow better crops and be less affected by them, or just utilizing the technology that they've created through creating these dinosaurs to branch out into other aspects of the world, which you would never expect to happen, because you wouldn't think, dinosaur creation would affect crop growth and like destruction of agriculture and imbalance of just a regular species of not a regular but a new species of insect. Like, yeah. I do get it. They do take a lot of time just on that subject when you want to go to a movie about dinosaurs, but it feels like something that Michael Crichton would do.
I believe you. Yeah. I haven't read Michael Crichton, so yeah. I can't agree, but I believe you. I just don't think it works necessarily. I just kind of think this movie's too overstuffed and long, and there is an extended cut that does make the film better, but again, I just feel like having that and having the rescue mission that's like kind of the A and B plot of the movie, I feel like I would have preferred either just one
or
of
the
those,
other,
you know?
So when I was watching it and I mentioned this to you, I think this would have been better if it was like a series or a
little mini series,
where they could like really touch on the details and like really expand and with the characters and like what they're trying to do and what they're trying to say, and all these different like plot lines and stories happening all at the same time, because it is a bit kind of bloated with all these characters, because you have to bring back the OG characters, you have all these new characters, you have even like newer characters just for this one movie, and you have all these characters and all these stories going on at the same time, that it's just a bit too much, but also just not enough.
Yeah, there is a bit of a desensitization as well with the time jump that disappointed me a bit when I first saw it as well. The fact that like all these dinosaurs are roaming around in just regular ass spaces, and there's the humans are just there. It kind of disappointed me, the fact that it's so casual to the point where they're like kind of just animals in the wild and shit.
That's kind of the point, is that they are just animals out and about. And
right, I understand that it's probably textual to the movie. I just was hoping for a little more of a movie of like them kind of learning to adapt to that, but that's kind of skipped over to get to the plot of this movie, which is probably just something they were more interested in.
But I do love that they do just put these dinosaurs in situations that you wouldn't necessarily always think about. For instance, there's a scene where they're riding horses and they're kind of like cowboys, and they're trying to hunt down some of these dinosaurs. I don't remember. It was for like wildlife and preserve.
Yeah, but the thing is, that should be fucking awesome. But to me, that's just I was like, okay, they might as well just be trying to get like a I don't know, like a mountain lion or a fucking, what am I trying to say? They might as well have been trying to catch just a regular animal that already exists.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. They're now animals.
They're just endangered species. Yeah, I get you.
And,
I get you.
I do think it's kind of like seeing. I think the last shot is like all these elephants walking with the triceratops with them. That's just a cool concept, that these new animals are now just in the world.
I get you. Yeah. You kind of see how the dinosaurs have learned to live amongst the other animals as well. Like, it's not just from the human side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also really think it's interesting how the movie starts off back in the Jurassic period, or
in the extended cut. It does. Yeah.
You just see them out about doing your normal dinosaur stuff, just being animals.
And then you see two of them fight.
Yeah, and then of course T-Rex dies in that instance.
But I think that the reason that they chose to open with that in the extended version, and like that's probably what Trevorrow wanted as the opening scene of the film, is I think that it's showcasing that the battle for becoming like the apex predator, the top dog, goes all the way back to that. It even with humans not there, the dinosaurs still fight amongst themselves to see who's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it kind of just shows this has been happening for millions and millions of years, and at what point are we just going to decide to coexist with one another and have that mutual respect?
Yeah, but it's also like they're animals. Like they're unpredictable.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they're going to do. And I like the little extended scene that they put in the front of the movie, because it also, they end that scene with the same fight, but this time the T-Rex has a bit of help from that one blind dinosaur with the big claws.
Yeah,
that was really cool. I really like that dinosaur.
I do really like that dinosaur
because I think that dinosaur is also not a carnivore. At least they don't show it eating any It's eating like berries and which is cool because you never.
But it can't see.
Yeah, it's
so
blind, but it has these big claws, and it's like a really big bird. That's one of the cooler sequences, at least to me. One of the more suspense-filled sequences when Bryce Dallas Howard's just going into the water and swallowing her.
So this movie is an ensemble film again. It's split off into two sections, kind of a little bit like Rebirth. Mm-hmm. But you have, the OG trio of Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. Then you have, of course, Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt's characters. Their daughter, who's now their adopted daughter, the girl from the last movie, she gets kidnapped because studying her is the key to figuring out something else with the dinosaurs, because her DNA was modified because her mother had like an illness. And so she created her as an exact clone but without the illness.
Yeah. And they kind of used that.
So that was a way to avoid extinction on a very small level for her.
Yeah, and Dr. Wu needed the little girl's DNA to kind of replicate that way of like kind of controlling certain like diseases, and he wanted her DNA so that he could control the locusts so that they would stop multiplying too fast and creating. And that's kind of like the whole thing about her little segment. I also like that they brought back Dodson.
We got Dodson here.
And
then you also have the character, I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce his name, but he plays Wade Ripple in Elemental. Really cool actor. He plays like one of the guys that just works at the Bison.
He works right under Dodson. Kind of like his.
But he's like the guy that kind of is like the good guy. Like and he kind of just helps them in the end.
I just love that they brought back Dodson because he was like a big bad guy in the books. Mm-hmm. Like he was one of the main antagonists, and they kind of made it so that at least in the movies he's back, and he's more of like the Steve Jobs, Elon Musk type, where he thinks he's doing good.
Can I get one of my bars?
But he's not. He's obviously just a gritty corporate guy.
Yeah,
obviously. But I do like the actor in it.
Campbell Scott.
Yeah. I like his portrayal of him, and I like the way he dies in it too.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny.
What's your story?
The mission of this movie, as well, is you'll notice with these world movies, the more we try to box it into the kind of the template, the less it kind of makes sense, because it's not exactly like that once you get into these second two. So this one is fucking crazy. Like, this movie, you have a theory, which I believe more and more the more you talk about it, that the movie is kind of just like inspired by Jason Bourne in a way.
Yeah.
It's this globe-trotting adventure to find their kidnapped daughter, and the dinosaurs are there, and that's like an obstacle, but they're trying to get to Biosin, and like, it's crazy. And it's a little bit like Stephen Sommers directed it a little bit. But explain to me why you think it's inspired by Jason Bourne, actually.
There has to be. There has to be Like someone had this idea, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna go with it. Because when they go to Malta, I believe, and just the way it's shot, the way it's edited, the way they shoot the action, and like they're like running through the rooftops of the house. They're like going through running through houses and whatnot. Same thing from like Jason Bourne Ultimatum, where he has that one fight with the guy and they're like jumping through the windows and fighting each other. It's the same editing, the same way it's shot, the same color grading. It looks like a Jason Bourne movie. It's crazy. And the action is like very, very much in that realm as well. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what led them to want to do that. I love it.
It's the kind of thing where you're like, how the fuck did you think of that? But it's also awesome.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm sure it had to have been someone's idea for doing that was because the movie's produced by the same guys.
Yeah.
Frank Marshall and Patrick Crowley.
If either of them's listening, they're like, finally, somebody understands.
And it's like they just wanted to make some kind of stylistic stamp on this movie for some reason. But I think it's pretty cool. Like the whole black market scene is like a kind of like a Mos Eisley.
Oh yeah. The fucking dinosaur cockfights.
Yeah,
down there.
It's so fun. There's a lot of practical little puppets and effects in it.
Yeah,
and I love that whole sequence because it's so bonkers. Like just from that sequence on, the movie is just insane.
Yeah, and there's some people who are just they just have like raptors and they have laser pointers, just using them to fight people. It's like it's very interesting.
It's gone to like Fast and Furious levels of like ridiculousness, which I like it because honestly, at that point, it's like, what else are you gonna do? What can you bring to this movie that's gonna be as exciting?
Yeah,
as
just let it rip. You know what I mean? It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, it is really fun.
It does lose a bit of that more reserved intellectualism of the first movie, where it's just basic tension filled like terror. And this is way more action-packed, way more fun, globetrotty kind of movie. But it's like, it's fun to watch. Like I don't know. I understand why people wouldn't like that. It's so much of a change. It's such a different style of movie than you would initially think for a Jurassic Park or a Jurassic World movie, and I know change like that can be kind of hard to swallow, but if you really just like, if you take it for what it is, if you take it for like what they're trying to do, it's a fun movie.
It is. I do kind of like this movie now. Yeah. I do. And this happens all the time when I watch movies with this fucking guy. I watch these fucking movies, I'm like, I'm sure this is bad. And then I watch them again and you're like, but do you think about how it's influenced by this? I'm like, fuck.
but yeah,
shit happened with The Guest too, but I'm actually really grateful for that. I think The Guest, I just changed as a person.
Yeah,
between
the Guest is great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
off topic.
Off topic. Yeah. He didn't like The Guest, and I was like, it's great. And then he was like,
I was like, wait a minute.
But yeah, Dominion. I thought that was gonna be the last Jurassic World movie we were gonna get for a while until Rebirth happened, and then. In a way, I do think it's kind of a course correction for the franchise. I think they saw that Dominion was like just so different from what the franchise used to be that Spielberg was literally like, hey, David, I got this idea for another Jurassic World movie. And David's like, what? He's like, you want me to do what? And he's like, and basically it was just Spielberg and David Koepp for like a few months just coming up with the script for that movie. They didn't hire any directors. They didn't even tell the producers, Frank Marshall and Patrick Crowley, about this movie until they pitched the first draft of the script, and they're like, Spielberg, what? You were hiding this from us? What is going on? And initially they were going to get David Leitch to direct it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but I think he opted out, and obviously, you know, Gareth Edwards, Spielberg loved his Godzilla movie, and he was known for having a visual effects background with his first movie, Monster, and with the creator, they were like, this is the guy, and
yeah.
And I think Gareth Edwards, after doing The Creator, he was like, yeah, I just wanted to kind of chill out. I wanted to write another movie that I wanted to do. And Jurassic World was the only movie, the only franchise that would ever have me drop what I'm doing right now just to start to be in that production. Because he's like, he did like the triple kill. He did the Godzilla, he did Star Wars, and now he's doing Jurassic Park. It's like he's got it too good right now.
Yeah,
I have to do it.
That dude has worked like in all the big dogs. It's crazy.
The one thing I don't know why they wanted to push the movie out so fast, because they were really hitting that deadline for the movie to come out this year at this time. He was even like, can we push it back maybe a little? And they're like, no. And he's like, okay.
I mean, the 4th of July weekend.
But from what I've heard from both Gareth Edwards and David Koepp was that the limitations of that movie made them more freeing to really come up with something a lot better than they could have.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. I like that movie quite a bit. But I do think they could have done like maybe a draft or two to really like tighten it up a bit, because I do think it's like maybe 20-15 minutes longer than it should be. But it's such a fun Jurassic Park movie. I also wish it wasn't called Jurassic World, even though it is a Jurassic World movie.
Yeah, well, there's no park.
There's no park. But I don't know. It feels more like a Jurassic Park movie than a Jurassic World movie.
I think, honestly, at this point, they're just saying that the universe has expanded. It's the world now.
Well, they should call it Jurassic Universe.
Because it does kind of... Yeah. It does kind of have like a...
Yeah.
Like, it has the dinosaurs on the mainland, too. Like, it's like, this is the world. The Jurassic... It's a Jurassic World. It's not just contained to a park.
Yeah.
Even if they're just going to an island in the movie. I think it makes sense.
They with this movie, it was more freeing for them because they didn't have to rely on using any legacy characters or any characters from the other Jurassic World trilogy. They could just kind of start from scratch. They had rules. They were like, we're not going to retcon anything. Everything that happened in the previous movies has happened, and
Good.
They're not. Yeah.
Yes, and
yeah. They're not going to break any like logistical rules, because I think David Koepp was saying when he was doing the movie, he was like, I want all the science, even all the funky science that they have in it, to be at least somewhat accurate. Like the whole like the getting blood samples from these the biggest dinosaurs is pretty accurate. Like those were some of the longest living dinosaurs that were ever like existed. And they had huge hearts, and huge like vascular systems, which allowed them to live very long lives. And usually, you would see in nature, big animals don't usually live as long because you need a bigger heart to pump out. Like for instance, like if like Great Danes, they don't live very long because they're so big. Those dogs are so big, they usually die fairly fast.
Yeah.
But it was different for dinosaurs. Like these huge dinosaurs lived very long lives, and if they were able to use that research to put into human like medical research, you could prevent certain like heart diseases and things of that sort. And he was like consulting people about that, and he just wanted to use like very Michael Crichton technology, fake technology kind of stuff, because the same with the first Jurassic Park movie. It's like, how do you create a dinosaur? You would need dinosaur DNA. We don't have dinosaur DNA. Where would you find dinosaur DNA? Oh, it's in a little mosquito that's been buried in molasses millions of years ago. We could extracted from that. And just off of that simple premise that Michael Crichton was like, is this possible? Can we actually do this? And he talked to a few of people that he knew, scientist people that he knew. They were like, theoretically, kind of, yeah. And so I just love the idea of using like fairly realistic science and just like
making just this
expanding
huge
it.
thing out of it. Yeah. So that, I think, yeah, the movies have evolved quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think in the way that they tried to do some really new stuff with Jurassic World and people rejected it, Rebirth makes sense. You all deserved it.
Yeah.
You all deserved this movie because of how you treated Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. And look, Dominion, I was part of the problem. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's a flawed movie.
Yeah.
But Fallen Kingdom, guys, he flips around like he's tranquilized, and he flips around away from the lava like he's playing QWOP. You don't even know what QWOP is, do you? Because you're a Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom hater, so you don't know anything. You don't know anything about anything. But, yeah. Let's rank these movies.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do my ranking, and then you can give your ranking. So at the bottom, I would say it's kind of a tie, but I would say maybe Jurassic Park 3. And then Jurassic World Dominion, which is kind of crazy. That kind of feels sacrilegious to say, but they could switch any day. I just feel like they're both kind of flawed, but they have enough stuff that I enjoy in both of them. And then just above that would be Jurassic World, the first one. Pretty good, tried and true. Oh, well, sorry. It would be probably Rebirth and World, pretty close.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure which one I would put above the other. And then above that, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. And then number 2 is Jurassic World Goat Kingdom. Because that, guys, I don't think you understand. I love that movie so much. And then obviously Jurassic Park is number 1. There's no, that would be actually insane if I was like, no, it's not. Okay, it's the best one.
Yeah, bottom, same here with Jurassic Park 3 and Dominion. Again, I like those movies. I like all the movies in this franchise.
At this point, I do too.
I like all the movies in this franchise. Yes, a lot of them are flawed, but my God, are they fun to watch. But bottom, I would actually I'll lock it in. Say Jurassic Park 3 is my least favorite, and then Dominion, then Jurassic World. Then sorry. Then honestly, I think I have to. Oh, that's hard. That's hard, actually. I can't pick between Rebirth and Fallen Kingdom. I like those movies quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, it just depends on the day, I guess.
So they're tied.
Yeah. So they're kind of tied, and then Jurassic Lost World, and then Jurassic Park.
So ranking's pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar.
Pretty similar. Just a few places in the middle there that would switch out. So thank you guys for going on this journey with us. Yeah. Diving into every Jurassic Park movie. I hope you learned something about the history of these movies from him, and I hope you learned that I have really bad taste in movies and that I hyper obsess on specific details.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like just general audiences they don't trust the filmmakers these days. They ask too much, and they criticize.
They're never
everything.
satisfied.
They're never satisfied about anything they're given. They don't see movies for what they're trying to be or what they're trying to.
It has to fit some imaginary version of the movie in their mind.
Exactly.
And yet they can't even tell you what that movie is.
Yeah.
Because it feels like the nature of audiences these days is to be displeased.
Yeah.
And to constantly yell and complain about stuff and be loud instead of being curious. Yeah. We just need more curiosity.
Like did we talk about the woman in Jurassic World who gets the
Oh, we did not.
Yeah. For instance, people were so mad about that one lady's death.
The nanny character in Jurassic World, where she gets dunked like several times in the water.
They're just like getting at her, and they're like, oh, "It's so misogynistic! I can't believe you would kill a woman off like that in a Jurassic Park movie. F you, Colin Trevorrow. You're a misogynist for doing that." And it's like, that wasn't even his decision. Like, that wasn't his idea. That was the actress's idea. She wanted that to happen to her character.
And what happened? Her character is popular as a result. Now we're like, oh, that's that girl that got dunked like 10 times.
Yeah, because her character is like kind of a whatever character. You don't really... We don't spend any time with her, really, until she dies, which makes her character memorable in that sense. And it's really crazy death. It's really crazy how they just end her. But... like, people they just want to complain. They just want to complain and criticize and be like, you're stupid for doing that. It's like, are you even questioning why they did it in the first place?
Yeah.
Or are you just being mad to be mad?
I think we know the answer.
Yeah. But hopefully you guys will maybe look at some movies, even these big franchise movies, with a little bit of a different lens, kind of see through like some of the filmmaker's perspective. Like, what
you
are they
always
got to
look at the intention. You know, whether or not it works for you, whether or not you think it's successful. Everything is subjective. But when it comes to actually, it is always good to just try to figure out what they were going for with certain movies and how it might have been sidestepped by studio interference or whatever. So our questions for you listening are: what is your favorite Jurassic era, new or old? I feel like I know the answer for most people. And then what's your favorite film of all of them? I know the answer for most people. And then what's your favorite dinosaur?
Yeah.
For me, I think I just like the raptors. I've always liked the raptors. If I don't think about it too much, I would say the raptors.
I like the raptors as like a good, like, fun...
kind of used as a crutch at times, but
more like a like one of those good scary dinosaurs, like an antagonistic dinosaur.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always loved the T-Rex. I still love the T-Rex, but I think as an adult, I just think the Triceratops is really cool. Like,
nice.
They're kind of like these rhinos, but like even cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, who would be the most OP character that we discussed in Jurassic Fighters? To me, it would probably be either Owen Grady or Alan Grant. Alan Grant with the raptor claw throwing the hat. Come on. You can't touch him.
Did we miss any characters that could...
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, but it's also like such an unserious idea.
Yeah, I think we could also... I think the little girl, she has like a little knife in the...
Oh, true, yeah. Yeah, we actually pointed that out. We were like, dude, Jurassic Fighters?
Yeah, and I don't know. I think, probably Owen would be the most OP because he has all those moves.
He's agile. He's got the moves. He's the foundation of Jurassic Fighters. Patent pending. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite franchises. I'm glad I got to talk about it.
Well, me too. We kind of last minute decided to throw this one together because we're like, Jurassic World coming out. I feel like there's some passion to this. We should talk about it. Thank you guys so much for listening to it. Be sure to follow us on other platforms. Stay updated on the podcast. We release episodes every single Monday. Give us a rating. Give us a comment. Give us a review. Tell us what you think. Send us an email if you want us to talk about a certain movie or thing, and we'll definitely consider that. Give us feedback to improve the show. We're always looking for that. Anything else you want to add?
No, just I don't know. Give us some feedback. Just tell us what
say something.
Do.
God,
let us know what you want to hear and what you want us to talk about.
All right. Well, I have been Peyton,
and I've been Adryon,
and we will see you next time on the Apple Box.